Hey, lovely freaks, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Amanda.
And I'm Hannah.
And if you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like things strange and unusual and true crime, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button. You can also head down to the description box and you'll see a link that will take you to all of our social media, like Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz.
All that jazz.
Yeah. So hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, hey everybody. So today we are going to be talking about monsters.
Yay!
We actually we were having a garage sale, I don't know, a couple weekends ago, and we found this book that my mother had. I can tell you the name of the book that we got most of our info from. Give me a second. Let me get it. It's called Monster Spotter's Guide to North America. Scott Francis, with illustrations by Ben Patrick. We're not going to read straight from it, obviously, but we just wrote some notes down of some of these monsters. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it's an older book. I think it was, I don't know when. I can look, see when it was published.
Maybe 2000s?
2007?
Yep, I thought so.
I believe. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I don't know if this was my husband's book, and I think it was his book, and he took it to mom and dad's for some reason. I don't know why. But anywho. So yeah, the book's pretty neat if you want to look it up and buy it. So we're just going to talk about some of these monsters in here. Some of them you know about. Some of them we've done before. Well, no, I guess we've never done some of these before, but we've talked about them probably on here. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. As always, thank you guys for subscribing, and if you want to keep subscribing to YouTube, that'd be great, because that will help us be able to put better content on YouTube. And yeah, so we just want to thank y'all, because our follows and downloads and all that have went up. And please don't forget to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Subscribe?
Nope.
Leave a comment?
Nope.
A star, like a rating?
A rating. There we go. On Apple iTunes, because that helps us out as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first monster we're going to talk about is the Dover Demon. A case that happened back in April 1977. Many teenagers spotted this creature over a 5-day period. The incident received a lot of media attention as well. All of the witnesses were considered by local authorities to be credible. That's the word I was looking for. Credible witnesses. So one of them did say that they were high while they saw the creature, so that wasn't very credible. But a lot of other teenagers did say that they saw it. The creature was dwarfed size, with a long, oddly shaped head, long fingers, and slim body. Many said it looked like an alien, kind of, but there wasn't any UFO spottings. So they didn't see any UFOs around in the area or nothing like that. And this was in 1977, so we've already talked about UFO sightings in the 1960s, so that was pretty common, So yeah, there wasn't any UFO sightings at that time. There's a theory that the creature could be an escaped monkey, maybe a sick animal, or a hairless fox. Many say that the demon has a resemblance to a native legend, which is a race of little people with big heads and long fingers who play tricks on people. That's funny.
I can't remember the name. There was a name, but I couldn't even pronounce it, so I was like, okay, I'm not going to even write that down, because the name is probably could not pronounce it. Yeah.
So it's the reason why I'm laughing is because I didn't write all this research. I did some of it and Hannah did some of it, so I'm reading what she wrote. So it's that's like a legend of little people.
Little people that play tricks.
My ancestors. Wow.
Sometimes they're called fairies as well.
Oh, okay.
They're
cool.
kind of like fairies,
Yeah.
but But they said that it looked like an alien more than the
fairy
natives. So they were like, probably an alien.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Like, these are just short little descriptions of this. So this is not going to be like a long thing on each monster, in case you guys are wondering. So we're just going to skip to the next one. So the next one is the Goat Man. Mm-hmm. This creature is from Georgia. The story is that a scientist experimented with a goat man hybrid. I'm an idiot.
A goat and a man.
A goat and a man, and created a hybrid goat man. I'll get it in a minute. I got it. It was driven into the woods, where he was alienated to the point where he became insane and started attacking lovers in the area. Many reported saying that Goat Man is about a 7-foot tall creature with a head of a goat and a torso of a man, and almost a Satan-like characteristic. He has also been spotted in other states such as Alabama, Texas, California, and Kentucky. That's a long way from Alabama, from the south, all the way to Texas, all the way to California.
It's like he's gone like other places. Also, he's known to be like carrying an axe with him, and he's like a creature that almost like he like breathes heavy and is like crazy, just going around. I think it's more couples. He's like drawn to like anyone who's like in love. Maybe he wants love or something like that.
Yeah,
he's drawn to them and he like wants to murder them, which is odd.
Crazy. So he also kind of looks like a I guess like the devil or something like that.
He's very tall, large, has horns, has hooves, very hairy. But yeah, almost like the devil.
I think I've heard of the Goat Man before, though. I've heard of that somewhere, and yeah, a lot of people think that it's just Satan or something like that. The next one is the Hopkinsville Goblins. With an S? Is it mini goblins? Huh. The almost alien-like creature spotted on August 21st, 1955 in Kentucky. Bill Taylor said he witnessed a UFO landing, and his family made fun of him for it and didn't believe him until the dog started barking and acting strange. The family said the creatures, plural, they had glowing skin, large eyes on the sides of their heads, pointed ears, and a large head. That's weird. The creatures started to claw out the windows and attack the house. The men grabbed their guns and started shooting, but the creatures were unharmed. The family battled the creatures for 4 hours before they finally gave up, hopped in their cars and drove to the hospital.
They drove to the hospital and they started telling the story to like people in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so they grabbed the military and police officers, and the news people started coming. They went to the house. They didn't find any evidence of the creatures or any kind of like disturbance, but they did see like holes in the walls of the house.
Yeah.
The bullet holes. So after that, they people started like coming to the house and wanted to like see the bullet holes and like know the creatures and tried to look for the creatures, but they never found them. And it was so bad to the point where the government decided to take the people from the house for more investigation, and also because there were so many people tormenting them, saying, "Oh, like, my goodness, that wasn't real."
Witness protection program,
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. And but some people are like, no, they took them because they were they needed more evidence, or the aliens took them, or the government needed them for Area 51. There were some cases that said that.
That makes sense that people would think that. But that's really crazy. I've never heard of that one. Mm-hmm. So it was a family in 1955.
Yes.
What was the family's name? Do we know?
I'm
looking.
Not really.
Bill Taylor.
They just said Bill Taylor and his family. They never really said the type of family. I guess they still
like the
didn't
family name or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. Well, I guess the police probably also thought that, like, after a while, people probably thought you guys just got really high or something and shot up your damn house. Or they got into a domestic altercation and they just didn't want to tell them that.
I can't believe
the fucking aliens.
Yeah, I can't believe it lasted 4 hours.
4 hours. That's a long time. Yeah. The Loveland Frogman.
Yes.
Thanks for that one.
Yeah.
I hate frogs. If I saw a frogman, I would just die.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it down.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, she's gonna love this one.
These creatures are creatures, so there's more than one of these. Mm-hmm. Great. These creatures are from Ohio and are as tall as a grown man, but are
frogs.
Frogs. They look like frogs. They stand on their 2 legs. They live on the side of the road and along the... Well, I'll never go to Ohio. Mm-hmm. And along the riverbanks, many people think they are just roadkill or people dressed like frogs.
Yeah, they see them on the side of the road. Some of them they see dead, and when they get closer, they're like, oh, that's a large frog. Okay, that's weird. Or they see them...
oh, that's a large frog. It's a fucking man frog.
Yeah.
That's a large frog.
Large frog.
Jesus.
And they see him on the side of the road, kind of like hopping around, and people are just like, oh, that's got to be like somebody dressed up as a frog. But there was one instance where there was like a group of them, and this man, I can't remember his name.
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. Mm-mm. I think it just said there was a man and he saw the frogs and he like stared at him for a good almost 3 minutes, and then he was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. But they were just hopping along and he couldn't believe it. He was just like staring at them. They were as large as him. And
it says there was 3 of them.
Mm-hmm, there was he said they were almost like kind of like human. Like they would start walking around, but then every once in a while they'd just start hopping. And then they would look around and they like saw him but really didn't care. They were just like, oh, look at that man. Okay, awesome. And they just kept going with their business. So he like returned to the police station and he was like, hey, there's these grown-ass people, like frog people. I don't know how to say this. And they were like thinking he was crazy. And when they were still there when he like took the police officer, he drove to the scene and they were still there. And the police officer was, like, in shock. But he didn't really do anything. He just was, like, in shock and then drove away.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And so he tried to get more police officers.
I would think it was people just trying to scare people. So I'd go up to them and be like, hey, y'all need to cut this shit out. And then they would...
Yeah.
Then you'd know for sure if they were,
But he went to go get more police officers. By the time he came back, though, they were gone. But reports say that another police officer... saw him like on the road. Something happened. Oh, it was like holding up traffic, and people were like calling in the police and being like, hey, like there's some kind of frog man outside. And they were like, okay, we've heard this before. And this one guy comes and he tries to shoot him, and while he's trying to shoot the frog man, it's like he can't be shot or something. Like it just was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, it wasn't a big deal. And that's the last witness. There has been a couple witnesses saying that they've seen him every once in a while, but they're more, like, they're more timid now. Not as, like, oh, I don't care anymore. I guess because that frog got shot. I guess the frog came back and was like, dude, we got to be more careful. I got shot, man.
I got shot. Fuck this shit. I was trying to find a picture. I don't see any, like, pictures, though. Well, that's kind of...
There's witnesses. There's a lot of witness statements, though.
They have glowing eyes?
Yes, glowing eyes. You would die.
Yeah, no. Looks like I won't be making a trip to Ohio anytime soon. Because that would be me. I would be the fucker after all these years that would see it. Nobody else. And then nobody would fucking believe me.
They listen to this.
You don't even like frogs. Like, of course you saw a frog man. Okay. Anyways, so that is the frog man. Now we're going to move on to Penelope. Legend has it that one day a husband and the husband was driving and got into an accident. His wife, she apparently got really depressed about this, and she wasn't in the car with him, but she got really upset and depressed and all that, to the point where she went crazy and went into the woods. Well, when she was in the woods, it was cold and it was like winter time, so she was trying to survive from the cold winter. So she climbed into a barrel that had toxic sludge in it, and it was like a metal barrel. So the woman then mutated into a creature. The toxic waste mutated her. She would eat raw meat with her hands and eventually developed the taste for the raw meat, which eventually led to human flesh. She has been described as having tangled hair, claws, and fangs, and she's just like tall and gangly, I guess. It also was reported that she did attack some campers, and I believe she had eaten like livestock and things like that as well. So she's in the mountains of Nevada. The Nevada mountains is where she's located.
Nevada, ooh la la.
So the moral of that story is, if you get depressed, don't go into the woods and sleep in a barrel, because it could be toxic. The cactus cat. This one's really cool. So this is in southwestern USA, and the cactus cat, it's really short, but basically what it is like, back in the day, it would annoy the shit out of cowboys, because it said that it would cut open cactuses and drink the juice from the cactuses, which is like a hallucinogenic or something like that, kind of like it makes you drunk or whatever. And so the cactus cat would drink the juice, and then it would get drunk and howl all night long and annoy the cowboys or whoever lives in that area, and you could hear it out in the woods, like, I thought that was really funny though.
He also was reported to have cactus, what are they called?
Oh yeah, the spikes
all over his body.
Him. Yeah
Yeah.
So he looks like a cactus cat. I mean, basically that's what his name is.
I feel like that's not a monster. I feel like it's just like a cat that
developed
that really loved cactuses.
Evolved into looking like a cactus because it's been in the desert so long. I don't know. The Lake Worth monster. Its habitat is Texas. In 1969 in Texas, this monster was apparently discovered. He has been described as a fishy man-goat. He has goat legs and feet. His upper body is like an ape or a Sasquatch type. It is covered with white fur, and hundreds of people have seen this creature. He was actually seen, he would hop on cars and stuff. This was in the 1960s, which hold on, I'll say that. So it was in the 1969. It was at this lake or whatever around that area. So he was hopping on cars and then just terrorizing people that I guess were at the lake or whatever. He also, one man got away from him because he gave him a chicken leg. Like KFC, I guess. Gave him a chicken leg and was like, "Here, take it." And he ran off, took it and ran into the woods. And there was also police officers that saw him and stuff like that too. I think they shot him or something like that.
Yeah.
And they don't know if he survived or not, but they found a blood trail or whatever.
Yeah.
The funny thing about all this is that most of these stories happen in the 60s and 70s. So a lot of people could say these people were just really fucked up on drugs.
That could be it too.
All that ecstasy. Woo!
It really was just a hairy homeless guy,
Yeah.
and he was looking for food. And they were like, "Here's this chicken, man." And he was like, "Yeah," and he ran out in the woods.
He was probably cracked out on ecstasy or something, and he's just super hairy. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these are from the 60s. Also, a lot of these have to do with goats. Any monster, have you noticed that? They have some sort of goat-like tendency, I guess you could say. So the next one is the Wendigo, which we all know what that is. If you don't know, I'm about to tell you. I'm about to learn you something. The Wendigo, its habitat is Canada and North America. Some people have seen it in Canada, some people see it in North America. I know that it does have to do with Native American culture as well. They strongly believe in Wendigos. is a spirit of the woods that was a human transformed by evil magic. So someone that maybe got lost in the woods in these areas, they would stumble upon like this kind of black magic evil presence, I guess you could say, and it would turn them into this creature. And how that happens is usually the Wendigo you'll start with like fever and sweats and stuff like that, and then you'll just kind of get like crazy, like turn crazy, and then eventually you'll turn into this creature that has horns, an ice-like heart. It's very thin. It has a blue tongue and antlers or horns. Some people have said that it looks like devil horns, but some people have said that it looks like antlers. Most of the lore that I've heard about it is antlers, though. Like, deer antlers. So it's tall with yellowish blue skin and a long blue tongue.
Also, parts of its body is kind of looks like it's been frostbite, because most of the time, if they go into the woods, they will die from frostbite or other like nature kind of things that kill you. Mm-hmm. So
the Wendigos, how they attract their prey, I guess you would say, humans, is that they basically the same way that you become a Wendigo, they give you like a fever, and you get like a fever, I guess like a virus or something like that, and then you turn crazy, and then you just like strip off all your clothes and you run into the woods with a Wendigo, and then they essentially kill you, eat you, maybe turn you into the lover. I don't know. So you have baby Wendigos. But no, there was in 1907, there were two brothers that actually got convicted of murder because they murdered a woman that they said was a Wendigo, and then they also said when they got arrested that they had killed like 14 Wendigos, but could have just been women that they decided to kill. No, they were Wendigos. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. But my daughter, I know this is kind of bad, but my daughter, she watches all that kind of like monster stuff on YouTube, and she loves different kind of lores and stuff like that, and she's like obsessed with a Wendigo. Like they'll be, my husband, he has a gaming channel, and he played a game, and there was like a Wendigo in it, and he was like, what, I don't remember what this is called, and Adeline was like, that's a Wendigo. And he was like, oh, is that what it is? And she was like, yep, that's a Wendigo. And I was like, she like, I don't know, she's crazy, but she thinks that Wendigos are real, like for real. She believes in them hardcore. But I mean, a lot of it's a very strong Native American culture, kind of like skinwalkers for, the Native Americans here. Like in the South regions and stuff like that. I guess that would be the same thing for them up in Canada and North America. So, yeah. Now we're going to talk about El Chupacabra. So, basically, this is a animal monster that they've seen. And they actually have pictures of what they call a chupacabra. It looks like a dog to me, or like a big-ass, like coyote or something like that. So in the 1990s, I do remember this. I remember like the huge like chupacabra sightings were everywhere, and everybody was like, oh my god. Even my uncle Marty, even our uncle was like, he said he saw one in the woods one time. It's that damn chupacabra. So but in the 1990s, there was a lot of livestock that were getting killed, and they would have puncture wounds on them, and then all their blood would be drained from their body. And there would be no signs of, which kind of reminds me of the Skinwalker. We talked about that in Skinwalker's Ranch. True. Maybe it was just chupacabra. But no, there would be no blood around where...
It's like kind of like a vampire situation.
Yeah, because the chupacabra, they're gray creatures, skinny with long claws, and they also have vampire-like teeth. Some people say that they look like dogs. Some people say they look like aliens. They also have they've been described to have like a spiny back or whatever. Like their back's got
spikes on
it.
Spikes all over them, I mean.
But I don't know. I mean, I just think it's a dog. I think it's a...
Could be.
I don't know what happened to
Some
this
kind of,
livestock
like,
in the 90s. But
Yeah, kind of like a new breed of a dog, maybe. Or like a wolf and a dog combined. But it also kind of looks like, you know that dog from Coco?
Yeah.
It looks like that dog, but
Yeah.
with like some kind of hair. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the monsters that we have for you guys today. But I do want to tell... So I'll tell you guys a story. My dad, he's a hunter, avid hunter, and he was in the woods one time. First of all, here in the South, we live in Mississippi, so there's lots of people that have said they've seen like a Bigfoot or something like that. My dad said that he thought he saw something one time. He won't say that it's Bigfoot, but he will say that it was like really large and brown and hairy. And, you know, he was like, I don't know what it was, but I left. Like,
Understandable.
Yeah. And then another time he was walking in the woods. This does not have anything to do with monsters. I just think it's a really funny story. So he was walking in the woods at night, which, no, thank you. If I'm going hunting and it's like, if I'm going to go hunting and it's late at night, like I'm going to leave before nighttime because I ain't walking out of the woods in the night. No. So anyways, he was leaving the woods and he said that he heard, if you guys don't know what a screech owl is, if you're not from the South, it sounds like a woman witch being murdered. Like,
yeah, it's freaking terrifying.
It really does. And where my parents live, maybe it is a witch. No, where my parents live, my mom can be like sitting outside and she can hear it. Like, it's like, like it's really,
Kinda
really
like
loud.
a witch laugh.
Yeah, and really, really loud. And it's a screech owl. It's what we think. Could be a monster. We never know. But I'm not going to go investigate for you guys, so don't ask me to. So anyways, my dad was leaving, and he said that he said that he was walking, and it was already kind of pitch dark. Like you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. Do you remember the story? And he heard it, and then he could feel like wings, like, you know, flapping. What happened was the screech owl flew over his head, but it was like, hurrah! And he was flying, and he said he just ducked down, and he said, I sat there for a second frozen thinking, oh shit, this is how I die. There's some monster coming up behind me. Dude, I told him, I was like, yeah, I would have had a heart attack. I would have thought fucking Jeepers Creepers was on my ass. And we're done. Like, I gotta go. I would have shit my pants for sure. Yeah, because no. That would be the worst thing. Like, that would happen to me. I'd go like
in the woods,
hunting in the woods, and then come out late at night. And
even when we have a pool in the back, like at my house in the back, and I'm scared just like in the middle of the night, just sitting in the pool swimming.
Yeah,
because you look in those woods and you're like, God, that looks creepy. Like I could just see a man just staring at me right now. I'd probably shit in the pool. I'd shit myself and start running.
Yeah, because when me and my husband, we went hunting, because my dad has like a deer stand back there, and so we went, and it was nighttime. Well, it was daytime. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, so the sun wasn't up yet. But yeah, it's just creepy. Like, you sit in the deer stand, but you're like looking around you like, okay. I'm not one of those people like, my dad, you weren't born yet, but one time I had a sleepover, and it was probably my 10th birthday or something like that. It was a birthday that, you know, I was still young, and I had a bunch of girls over, and so we were playing hide and seek around the house, and me and this other girl, we walked around the house, and our dad is a douchebag sometimes. Yeah. like to the point like he likes to pull pranks and stuff, which I think is douchey, because if I did this to my kids, they would probably punch me in the face. But no, it was funny because he wore that
the
wolf mask, the werewolf mask, and he was standing, you guys, with a wolf mask with a cowboy hat on in a trench coat in the middle of the woods with the moon beaming down on him. And my friend looks back because he like makes a sound to get her attention, and she's standing outside the back of the house looking towards the front of the house, and she looks back behind her and sees this creature thing standing with the moon glistening on it. She fucking freaks out. I mean,
I
like,
would have.
and I was like, what? And she just grabbed me and she's like, run! And I was like, what the f-? I didn't see it. But my dad was just laughing his ass off. And then, basically he looked like Jeepin' fucking creepers.
Jeeping creepers.
He looked like Jeeper
creepers.
I mean, he looked like the guy. Ow. Sorry. He looked like the guy from Jeepers Creepers. So, she freaked out, but
understandably, I would have too.
Yeah, I would have died. Anyways, so yeah, those are just some of our monster stories, I guess. They're not really monsters, but some things that my parents have done to me. Yeah, Mom did that to me one time too. She had the wolf mask on, and I was looking for her in the house. I was like, where are you, Mom? And I was calling her. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find her. And I said, oh, well, she must be outside. And so I walked into my bathroom, and she was in there in the shower, and she scared me, and I hit her because I didn't know it was her. Like, I was like punching her, and she was like, I was like, well, son of a bitch. Like, Jesus.
They've never tried to scare me, I guess, because
you'd probably punch him in the face.
Yeah.
He'd straight up just, like, start murdering somebody. Pull out a knife out of nowhere.
Where'd you get the knife?
I'm gonna kill you today, you son of a bitch. It's me, Hannah, no! But anyways, for anyone asking, like, wondering why we had a wolf mask and a bunch of different masks, we did a haunted hayride one year. We have a lot of land, and so my parents just thought it was fantastic to keep the masks around so that way they could torture us with them. But no, it's fun though. Anyways, but that's it, you guys. So we hope that you guys had a great time just chit-chatting with us today and talking about monsters, because I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, this one was a new episode, kind of like, I liked all the little stories. Some of them were funny.
Yeah.
Especially the one with the chicken. That was funny.
The chicken. Yeah. Fucking take my KFC.
Take my KFC, go into the woods.
Yeah, I don't really know what it was, but I'm just assuming it was KFC. So anyways, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Next week, we're going to have a 2-part series for you guys because I have I have an interesting case, and it's actually been on Hulu, but it's a case of a boy that was abducted, and then he survived. Later on, his older brother became a serial killer. So, yeah, really, really weird. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know. But I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't go on YouTube, Hulu, and try to find it. Yeah. But anyways, so it'll probably be a 2-part series because we might can fit it into 1 part, but we'll see. All right, well, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.